Open my eyes to the world. Open my heart to the world. The world that is in you. Open my heart to the world. The world that is in you. Let me feel you in everyone I meet. Let me feel you playing in the trees. Oh, take me to your heart. Let me feel you in every part. Open my heart to the world. Open my heart to
That was William Vitalis with Open My Heart to the World. Welcome to Let's Find Out. The focus of this program is to have our hearts open to the universal, united, kind, loving, and forgiving planet. We have entered into a new decade and new energy form, the transformational 20s. Let's all begin to strengthen the new energies on the planet, strengthen your intuition, and strive to live a peaceful existence free from fear. What strategies, prayers, meditations, and exercises can one use to tap into the higher realms and receive messages from our departed loved ones, creating a higher vibration of living? When we're upset and confused, where can we find the answers? How can we know which path to take? The answers are here on Let's Find Out with our spiritually focused format and guests. And now it's time for tonight's program. Let's Find Out with Elizabeth Joyce.
Good evening, this is Elizabeth Joyce. How is everyone tonight? We certainly are going through some changes both off the planet and on the planet. We all know what's pretty much happening on the planet, but off the planet we've got some interesting things going on that are going to result in some dramatic changes for everyone, not just the planet and not just politics. I find that when I talk politics, everybody gets mad at me. They blame me for what's going on, or I shouldn't say what I'm going to say or do say. Nonetheless, let's look at some of the changes. We do have 3 eclipses in 30 days. We had the first one on the 5th of June. We're having another one on the 21st, which happens to coincide with the summer solstice, and that's powerful. When you have an eclipse on the summer solstice, the eclipse is in Cancer, it's very, very powerful, and it ties up or puts a finishing end to the one that we had in December 25th, Christmas Eve. We had a Capricorn eclipse, and now we have the Cancer eclipse. And I do see we have a caller, Ida from New Jersey. Are you there, Ida?
I am. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, how are you? It's been crazy for me.
I can imagine. Are we in Mercury retrograde at all?
It starts Wednesday. Mercury retrograde starts Wednesday. That with the 3 eclipses is. And then we have Jupiter conjuncting Pluto on the 30th. So it's going to be really nuts. I've moved 3 times in 1 year, and my guest tonight we can't find, so we're doing the best we can here. Ida, what was your question?
Well, I was just wondering, during this 3 rare eclipse, is there a specific date this month to possibly make a gold and silver coin investment, or is this really out of the
You don't want to make any investments with Mercury retrograde, out of the question.
Okay.
Got to wait till after July 12th. Only because Mercury is retrograde and it isn't time to do anything as important as that. I mean, if you want to do it for a small amount of money, that would be one thing. And I don't know what you mean by an investment. It's never really wrong to buy gold and silver, but it's always best to do any of that kind of work when Mercury is not retrograde.
Okay.
I find that I just breathe through the time, those 3 weeks. You're supposed to clean out your closets and drawers, do a lot of meditating, and make a list of how you'd like to see the world change or what you'd like to do for yourself to create a change over the next 3 months to 6 months. And Mercury retrogrades again in November, so it's going to retrograde right around the time of the election, if we have an election. And it promises, I've been predicting that we may not know who the president is for a while, like we had with the Al Gore experience years ago, if you remember. So there's all kinds of, I'm going to say, opposing energies. I did predict
remember
that.
you saying that, I think, in January or even later we're going to find out, correct? I think that's what you had said.
I said that we'd know sometime in December, which is what I think we did know.
Wow.
And in 2018, I predicted that there was going to be a virus that would disrupt the world. But I did predict that he would be, and then he would pick a female vice president, and so it's all happening, and it makes me crazy because I go, wow.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Do you have anything else to ask, Ida?
No, it's basically around the same thing. Stocks, hold off with that completely. Not this month, not next month.
Money is changing.
Okay.
You're going to find that money's going to change over the next 6 to 8 months. I'm recommending, and I'm going to tell you what I'm recommending. Just don't get mad at me. That everybody get out of the banks and go into a credit union, because I do think that there is going to be some kind of crash and upset with banking. And there was a law that was passed. Actually, it was Obama that passed it in October of 2016. And that law says that they can write you a letter and say, "Dear Madam, you cannot withdraw any money. Your ATM card is no longer valid because we owe you. We're going to give you an IOU. We need to have your money, and your funds are at risk." So my question is, if your funds are at risk, why would you stay in a bank that can do that?
I am in a credit union. Now, why would that differ from a regular bank?
It's not a part of the FDIC. And the FDIC is who we're having a struggle with right now, because Donald Trump wants to go back to the gold standard. And he wants to take the FDIC back. I believe it was Woodrow Wilson that said that they could be an individual company. Actually, they're known as the cartel and the top 6 most wealthiest families in the world. And he wants to bring it back to the government and reestablish the gold standard, which was given away by Richard Nixon. And
I remember
if we do
that,
that, it's going to be a struggle, but I think that it might be the best idea for us. And then I do feel that there might be some states that are considering receding from the union because they don't want their children and grandchildren to have to pay off the national debt. So they figure they'll go to the gold standard and generate their own money and become a republic. Like
boy,
the
oh
Republic
boy, how the
of
world
Texas.
is changing. My goodness.
That's what these 3 eclipses are going to do. So it's very interesting. These
incredible.
are all possibilities that I'm picking up psychically. And, I don't know if people really understand what picking up psychically means for me. I have days where I just get thrown into this wave of vibration, and it's very strong, and I see and feel things, and usually they happen. It may take a while. I'm not an instant McDonald's, but it usually happens, and people were upset that I couldn't write predictions for the last 3 months on my website. But let me tell you something. You can't write predictions unless you can write predictions. And
exactly. I mean, how can you force it? Right. You can't force it.
So if I'm in the middle of moving from Texas to New Hampshire, I got to focus on that. But when I do come out with them, they'll knock you silly, like I just said. I also think that Biden may not be. I think that during the Democratic convention, it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it's possible that they'll try to remove him and put somebody else in.
I don't doubt that.
They can do it. They can do it at the Democratic convention. And that might be Michelle Obama. Now, I predicted that she would be the nominee in 2018 along with everything else. I remember mentioning it, that it was possible, but at that time she didn't want to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds. And that's the most exciting part. The most important thing is to hold the light. The most important thing is to know that in the next 4 years, we are going to have one thing right after the other. And we have to start to grow as spiritual people and be who we say we are. We have to hold the light for love, peace, harmony, and balance, because it's not being done. We have to sit through whatever disruptions come, know that we're children of God, know that we're holding the light, and know that we have to wait it out. It's 4 years. 4 years in,
And
4 years out.
Well, that's a long time. So anyways, I've been taking part in all the world meditations, that are available or that come up or that are brought to my attention. So I'm hoping all that helps.
Well, taking part in worldwide things is wonderful, but I want you to have a daily practice. I want everybody to tune in the morning and make sure that you're in the flow during the day, and you'll be just fine. Listen to your inner promptings and follow them. That's what people don't do. It's like turning on the radio or plugging in a plug. It's not going to work unless you take the action. And you only need 5 minutes. The desire and the heart is the most important thing. For example, you wake up in the morning and you stretch and you take some deep breaths and you decide that you will follow your spiritual guides that day. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for bringing me this beautiful day. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. And then the next
I usually have my morning prayers, my evening prayers, so I do that.
And nightly review is very important. It goes a little bit beyond evening prayers, nightly review, because you want to go over the day and what happened, and did you have a good day? And if you have a good day, bless it. And then if there's anything that did go wrong, you have 24 hours to make amends. That's per Louise Hay.
Oh.
So that's what nightly review is, and keep a journal and make notes, and you'll be fine.
Very good.
Thank you for calling. Let's find out.
Thank you
Ida.
so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good one, Elizabeth. You take care. Bye-bye.
And now we have another caller, Barbara from Ontario. And Barbara's thrilled to talk to you again. Thank you for calling. Let's find out. What can I do for you?
Hi, Elizabeth. My mother recently passed, and
yeah, I thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, you had mentioned that she would be going soon, and you gave me the date 5/7, and I was hoping it was in July, but I was wrong. It was actually the 21st of May. I'm just wondering if you maybe have a message from her.
I'm not the one that does that. Frank does.
Frank does. Okay,
but
well,
I do feel that she's fine. I do feel that she's glad she's out of her body. I do feel that she's hovering over you, and I'm getting a feeling that, I'm not sure if it's her, because she would still be in her processing, Barbara. It takes at least 6 months for the processing.
Okay.
But I feel that she will be giving you messages through your dreams, is what I'm being told.
Okay. Is there something I should be doing for myself now, Elizabeth, that
Well, I've been talking to Ida about the morning meditation and nightly review, and to accept that we are going through the riots, which I predicted, and the bad weather is yet to come. We have some very explosive weather coming that's going to be not as usual. We always have these sudden, oh my gosh, what are we going to do type things, but I think they're going to be a little bit more intense this year. What is going to be intense this year is the heat and fires, but heat in the triple digits in some areas that are not used to it. So be very, very careful with that, and be careful with, when you're outside, to wear your sunscreen, and be careful. Of course, we have to be careful with the virus, but the heat will kill the virus, so you'll be all right there. And we'll get through it. You're up in Canada, so you'll have it a little bit easier than some of the people down in the Southwest.
Oh, I can't imagine for the people down in the Southwest where the heat can be brutal.
You can go outside and really not be able to breathe, so you do have to be careful.
Yeah.
Anyway, Barbara, thank you for calling. Let's find out. This is
Elizabeth
Joyce, and now it's time for our weekly cosmic tip.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out, And now it's time for your weekly cosmic tip. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Stargazing week of June 15th through June 21st, 2020. The kickoff this week is that Mercury is slowing down to turn retrograde late in the evening on Wednesday the 17th. Mercury turns retrograde in Cancer until July 12th. Because Mercury retrogrades in Cancer, the focus is on our home repairs, renovations, gardening, and repairing some important family relationships. As Mercury turns retrograde, it will conjunct the star Sirius. This star was associated with the goddess Isis. Her job was to burn the dead bodies to release the soul, turning the mundane into the sacred. Thursday evening is a pleasant time to share with people who are able to get into deeper levels with you. Share your higher vibration, but allow wiggle room in your plans to reach that vision because Mercury and Venus are currently retrograde. Friday is a talkative day under a Gemini moon. Keep conversations and activities short and quick. The most important and powerful day this week is Sunday, June 21st. The summer solstice in Gemini and the solar eclipse new moon in Cancer occur within hours of each other. Jupiter and Pluto are aligned for the second of three conjunctions that started in April when the COVID virus went global, making this the halfway point in the current cycle that goes into November. Ideally, at this point, we have a handle on the virus, but caution must still be used because it could go big again under this alignment. Hopefully, the virus goes downhill until the alignment completes itself in November. Both communications planet Mercury and the love and money planet Venus are retrograde now. Communicating emotions, shifting values, reworking the budget, and catching up on people or projects that fell by the wayside over the past few months are all a part of the next 3 months. The one difference between the solar eclipse and the summer solstice is that the moon has changed signs. A Gemini moon is for the solstice, and the next 3 months you want to keep things quick and light, moving from project to project and person to person. This energy is better for a lot of small things rather than one project that requires intense focus. The solar eclipse has the moon in feeling-oriented Cancer, where Gemini wants to take short trips. Cancer wants to stay close to home and family. So expect a mixture of emotional energies. The Cancer new moon on Sunday, June 21st, which is also Father's Day, is even more important and powerful because it brings us a solar eclipse. This energy brings intensity, which is a four-way stop sign. It's not wise to begin anything new at this time. Wait until after July 12th when Mercury turns direct again. Be careful now, don't sign any important documents or make any large item purchases. This energy brings up a deeper level of inner emotions at the soul level and your motivations. In this year of changing values and priorities, now is a good time to invest time to where you want to shift your energies when this year's Sirius Capricorn energy gives way to the idealistic and humanitarian Aquarius in 2021. Watch for news under this eclipse path in Africa, the Middle East, and most of Asia and Indonesia. Pay attention to the emotional ups and downs on Father's Day, Sunday, as there is a combination of a Cancer moon on the tail of a solar eclipse, and Neptune is slowing down to turn retrograde Monday night. So be careful on the roads and don't believe everything you hear. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Visions of Reality. The website is new-visions.com. If you'd like to make a call to ask a question or book a reading, the 24-hour answering service is 201-934-8986. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out, and we're talking about ways to stop what's happening on the planet and how to save the world, because we've lost the Earth and we really have to start making some serious changes. The number to call to ask a question is 202-570-7057. I'm sorry that Frank couldn't make it tonight. He got detained, but he will be on in 2 weeks. And next week I'm having Sharon on. She is the numerology lady, and we're going to talk about a lot of things that are going on in the fall months. So it's always good to listen to Let's Find Out. I wanted to speak about these changes that are coming with the three eclipses, Remember, these 3 eclipses signify endings, releasing things that are stopping you from going ahead, and all the experiences that can happen with that energy that might seem upsetting to you but are really for the best. And it's hard to see that when you're going through letting go of something that you've been hanging on to for a long time. So July is going to be a little bit of a tough month for people because they have to go through this process of letting go. When we get to August and September, it's going to be a whole different story. Remember what I'm saying now and make a little note so that when we get to the full months, you can take a look at what you processed and went through and where you are then. You'll be in a much lighter frame of mind because Capricorn is leaving the planet. The influence of Capricorn and Cancer are cardinal signs, and they are the toughest signs to work through the energy. And by the time we get to 2021, December of 2020, we move into Aquarius energy. And Aquarius energy rules air and communication and aircraft communication, the wind, people feeling lighter and maybe a little bit more optimistic about what's coming, whereas the Capricorn and Cancer energies are emotional and they bring you down and they make you feel like you haven't worked hard enough or that you're working too hard, one or the other. And what they do is destruction before reconstruction, which is what we've had to go through. We've had to go through a lot of these changes to bring the attention and change that which has been occurring. It's always sad to see people be put down, to be made fun of no matter who you are, or to have people put obstacles in their way of their progress. What our natural progress is what we receive when we meditate. I know that a child at 8 years old might want to be a radio announcer, and his parents might say, oh, you'll never make money doing that, you have to go to college and be a doctor. But the child wants to be a radio announcer. It's better to say, well, what would you do if you were a radio announcer, and how could you learn that? Because learning, reading, learning, and experiencing is how we grow. And being supportive is a wonderful thing to be. So we need to remember that about our children, because our children are our future. And we're going to be also talking about the energy that we are going to be moving in Aquarius. And Aquarius rules freedom, and Aquarius rules outworldly. So that is our space program. I do feel that we will be advancing quite a bit with the space program, and that we'll begin new projects that will be very creative. And some of these children that are growing up with wonderful mathematical knowledge are going to bring wonderful new technology to us, and we can really look forward to that. It's nice to see the technology make our lives easier in some ways. I do think that the virus is seeing its last licks, as I say. I think it'll be gone by November. They talk about a resurgence. If there is one, it will be mild. I don't think that it will be too devastating the way it has been lately and with what we've gone through. I do think that there will be a vaccine, but not yet, because it's way too soon. So be very, very careful, and don't fall for any of the things that, any of the scams, the virus scams. And just take care of yourself and try to raise your frequency, because when you raise your frequency, there's very little chance that you'll be getting sick with anything. When you have a higher frequency, you're in tune and you're in alignment, and everything just passes through you. So it's good to know that. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out, and now we're going to be going into our station break.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Elizabeth Joyce's Elixir tea is really a healing tea. It's blended according to Ayurvedic principles and the chanting of Sanskrit mantras. So it assures a deep cellular healing, relief that flows from within. So drink Elizabeth's healing tea before you meditate. Order it online or call 201-934-8986. 201-934-8986.
Consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalind Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business by tuning in on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Mountain. Join me for your light language activation and let's magnetize and monetize.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Finding my way under wide open sky, I feel new friends in the morning air. Sunrise is warming the mountainside, promising me that you'll be there. Oh, let me run up the mountainside. Something like a first flight is bursting inside. Suddenly I know that you can't ever hide from me. You are everywhere, all around me. You are everywhere, all around me. You are everywhere, and everywhere do I see. Oh, who got my breath going right from the start? Who pours the universe into my heart? Who sings the grace into every part of me? Oh, tell me, how can my mind hold the wings of your time unless I spread my arms wide? How will I know your heart is with mine unless I feel you so deep inside? Oh, who makes my voice and the ocean to swell? Who turns the seasons into stories to tell? Who climbs the light ladders in every cell of me?
was William Vitalis singing You Are Everywhere, and my name is Elizabeth Joyce, and we are on Let's Find Out. Let me tell you about William. He is the most wonderful, talented person. I saw him write that song in Hawaii. We were on the other side of Maui at the base of Haleakala, and he woke up one morning out of his dream state and was singing this song. And we were right next to the 7 pools. So he went and waded in the 7 pools and was jumping from one to the next one singing this song. And I see that every single time I hear it. I absolutely love it. I love most of the music that William has recorded, and I'm very lucky to be able to play it for you because it's just not ever been popular or out on the airwaves. So we're putting it out on the airwaves because it's precious, just priceless. I need to explain about my little dog who I just got in January. She's a Pomeranian. Her name is Ella May. And I have moved from Austin up to New Hampshire. I'm in the house that my grandfather built and that my mother was born in Warner, New Hampshire. And I named Ella May after my grandmother. So she barks because she hears people outside. I just wanted to let you know that little Ella May is running around. She's still a puppy. And she's just adorable. She really is. You would love her. She's a redhead, a southern redhead. Uh-oh, that's trouble. Again, I wanted to talk about the changes that are coming. Everything is changing. Our money is changing. Our relationships are changing. And how we work are changing. So many new things are coming onto the computer. And some people are finding very creative ways to do their jobs even better, which is interesting. So nothing's ever going to go back to where it was, of course. We're going to progress and go forward. And this new energy has us all in such a rush, and it's happening so very fast that it's truly a crazy, crazy time. And what can we expect this summer? Well, we are going to expect, let's hope that we're going to expect some nice vacation time and that people can finally get outside, because we've all been in and we've all been under that kind of pressure. But with the heat and with the summer and with the astrology, I feel that the virus will calm down and that it will be a lot safer in the warmer weather, which is good to know. So you can relax and have a good time. Just be careful and keep the distancing as you can, and we'll press on from there. The focus of holding the light is very important to me, and the protection that you want to bring to yourself, the spiritual protection with your angels and your guides, can really deepen at this time, and it's something to remember, because they are everywhere and they will help you stay safe and be protected. It's amazing what can happen. You call it money, and I call it providence or divine, the divine working the way that it should. This energy is powerful, and the thought that you put into it is what you'll get back, and you need to remember that. So that if you, let's say you've lost a set of car keys. One of my friends did the other day. I told them to just sit down and put the car keys in their hand and visualize that for 5 minutes and then go about their day. And their car keys did turn up later on that afternoon. And that's how you can find lost articles. In our subconscious, we do remember where we put things. And sometimes we can't bring it up to our conscious mind because of stress or those other things. But there are ways to override that. And this is what a part of what these 4 years are going to be about. We're all going to need to grow spiritually and depend on our inner guidance and to trust it and to know that we can have love, money, and success when we do this and when you pay attention to astrology. That's why I take the time to send out my stargazing every Monday. Every Monday I tell you what's going to happen during the week. And a lot of people do that on YouTube. Mine is on YouTube, as well as my website. I put it up on my website in writing so that you can read it, and in case you missed it or in case you didn't understand something that I said. And it's good to know that that's part of creativity. That's part of knowing what's going to happen during the week. What's the best day to go out shopping? What's the best day to stay in? And there are days that it's best to stay in, especially when Saturn is conjuncting Pluto or something like that. We've had about at least 3 days this year when it was best to stay in. And it's always not good to take a long trip during an eclipse or to take a long drive during an eclipse. So we've had 3 of them. We're having the next one on the 21st, and the next one will be on July 5th. So just take care of yourself and be aware. Also, it's a good idea to sit down and start journaling and writing that what you want to bring into your life. What's coming this fall? You've been through a lot of changes over this whole year. Nothing's been the same. Everything went topsy-turvy. What can you do now? Now that you've, been kind of slapped around a bit, as I say, what can you do now to restart and to start creating and adjusting and make your changes? And, letting go of your fear, letting go of I'm not good enough, I can't do it, nobody will listen, letting go of all that stuff and rewording it so that you can say, it's wonderful that I've had this change, because what I found was that I could let go of the fear that I had when I was a child. I could let go of the fear that I had over not liking myself and all kinds of things. And then you can find out who you really are. What are you inside? You're a light, you're a spark, you're important. Every person on this planet is important. No matter what their color, what their belief system, where they live, they are important. They have something to contribute. They're part of a tapestry. And if you pull a string out of a tapestry, the tapestry unravels. So we really have to shift our thinking and understand that there is a sense of oneness. And some people kind of flinch at that thought of the oneness. They don't understand that today we're breathing the air that China breathed last week. And tomorrow we'll be breathing the air of India and the air of England and whatever. Everything goes around. And we all are the same in many, many, many ways. We love our families. We want the best education that we can get. We want to be able to take care of ourselves and pay our bills and live a good life. And you can. Just know that you can. And don't let the worries and the upsets get in the way, because they create obstacles and pain. And who needs that? Next week I'm having Sharon on, and we're going to be talking a lot about what's happening out in the world and what we think is going to be happening at the 2 conventions that are coming up, because we are going into a change of power. And this energy that we're going through, the 3 eclipses and the Jupiter conjuncting Pluto and Saturn conjuncting Pluto all year, which we've had, and that brings up your karma, that brings up what you've already preset in your life, is creating changes that some of us are uncomfortable with and don't understand. And that's why everybody's so mad. They're mad and they're angry. People don't like change. They don't want to accept change. But we have to have change. Change is good. Okay, you're going to miss maybe some of the older comfortable things that you thought you knew, but now it's changed. You have strength, you have talents, you have a creative spark. You also have blind spots and blockages. Everybody has blind spots and blockages. We don't know everything. We know so little. If you ever imagine that you can fly, and imagine that you're up going around the earth and you're looking at the moon and the sun and the solar system. And my goodness, we are just little ants crawling on this huge, beautiful globe. And yet when we're on it, we feel like we're big and powerful and strong sometimes. But we're a part of a creation. We're a part of a whole. Not only are we a part of a solar system, but we're a part of a universe. And anything that we do, the things that we do, especially things that are off the planet, and some of the testing and the bombing and everything affects the solar system and affects our breathing, it affects our rhythm, it affects the rhythm of the earth, the turning of the earth, which is probably why we have this weather going on. I think the sun controls the weather, and we could be seeing some sun activity in the next few months because of Saturn being in Aquarius right now. Remember, Aquarius rules the air, and it rules space. And I also think that what's going to be very interesting is that we possibly could have a knowledge of life on other planets, real knowledge of life on other planets. And it would be great to know that we could communicate with these other beings and get to know them. It would be interesting. Not frightening. Not murder and killing and blood and all of those vampire stories that you see, but something real, something connective, something that shows us that we are all a part of each other. I think that would be beautiful. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out. It's time to get ready for the meditation now, and it's something that I wrote last week for you, and it's to raise your vibration frequency so that you can stay well and healthy during this time. So please get ready. Sit with both feet flat on the floor. Take some deep breaths. Let yourself relax. Close your eyes and just sway with it. Thank you for listening to Let's Find Out, and I'll see you next week.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out. And now it's time for the healing meditation that will help raise your frequency vibration. Raising your vibration into the fifth dimension is to live an amazing life. In order to do that, you need to break through the conditional response of fear that we have all been brought up with, and that has been with the planet since almost the beginning of the planet. We have come to a time when this really counts. Yes, it seems crazy out there, but it's really not. It's just that all the outmoded negative life, ups and downs, are being broken down and split apart. Do not allow yourself to be sucked into this frightening energy. As a child, we were taught to fuss and whine when we wanted our own way. And we have brought that into our adult life. We haven't realized that as we grow older, we need to leave our childish ways. We can communicate instead of taking a negative action to gain a response or to get our own way. We use the childish feelings, childish behavior. At this time, as we enter the fifth dimension, we must change our thinking process and how we think about our life. We are being tested. The history of life on earth is that people prey on the weak people to get what they want. When a friend or a boss yells at you and reprimands you, it's not anything to do with you. They are angry at something that they're angry at, which has nothing to do with you. You're simply a scapegoat where they can drop their negative feelings and anger. Something else is going on around them, and the anger becomes a great expression to vent on you. What's going on in this country has nothing to do with the real issues, because real issues never require anger or violence. The riot and anger is an age-old excuse, the old way of handling things so that you can behave badly. When a window gets broken and a small store is looted, the people that you are supposedly defending may be put out of business. Looting and breaking windows has nothing to do with peace, protesting, or justice. That's an excuse. It's the behavior that we have used for centuries and eons, and it has to stop. Who does the bully pick on? The biggest guy? No. They pick on the weakest. But the bully has issues, and they want to prove how good they are. And these issues have nothing to do with who they pick on. It is very important in the next 4 years that we stay centered, at peace, and change our focus. We change our focus from fear and what's going to happen to me to I am a powerful individual, I am a light worker, and I work in love, peace, and harmony. Right now, people use frustration for their own personal agendas. And this has to stop, this has to change. The world is changing. Here's what we can do about it. Here's where we can grow. Stop acting like babies, because we are now holding the power that we did not know about years ago. We would actually go into a challenging situation and do the same things that are being done now. Negative times negative equals negative. Nothing gets accomplished, and terrible destruction is left behind. You hold the power of the oneness, and you act on that power of the oneness. And this is done with total peace, no judgment, and not being sucked into the confusion and anger and hostility of those around you. A riot is a riot, and nothing has changed. Oh, but wait. What about you? What has changed? What can change? You have the power to change. And what you have the power to change is your reaction. Of course there's bad behavior. It's always hanging around for a reaction. And when you give it the reaction, the baby gets fed. That is what we do to manipulate and control. The Lord said, "The meek shall inherit the earth." It's here, it's now. Our spiritual tests begin now, and there's much more to come. 3 eclipses in 30 days, and 4 years of destruction before reconstruction. We as light workers must create the peace that can and will change the outcome. It will change everything. So join me as we embrace spiritual frontiers with a new way of loving and a new way of remaining in love, peace, and harmony. On the basis that I know who I am, I know what I am, and I know how I serve. You are a child of light. You are experiencing different vibrations and frequencies on this earth plane. And your mission now is to raise everything up to a higher frequency where you don't need physical power. You don't need weapons because you hold the power. You hold the power within yourself. Focus on living on a peaceful planet, a planet that chooses to live in love, peace, and harmony. This is your new mission. All of this is a test. I have told you this would be happening, and it will continue to do so. But we can hold out for 4 years. All are being tested. Other forms of the lower frequencies will evolve. Much more will be happening in all areas of our life. It will hit, it will create separation, it will create illness, it will affect finances. But the most important thing, I promise you, that this will become the biggest challenge of your life. Take a deep breath. Release the breath. Expect many changes and expect a new energy that's coming into your life. You are reloading your energy. This energy is benign, it's of a higher frequency, and it will bring you balance, love, peace, and harmony. Take another deep breath. Closing your eyes, looking at the light on your third eye. Let the light expand. Let it expand throughout your mind, that beautiful amber gold. And know who you are, that you are a child of God, that you are an energetic being in the universe, and that you hold a power beyond human imagination. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out. Have a peaceful night, and let this energy envelop you throughout the upcoming turbulent days.
Finding my way under wide open sky, I feel new friends in the morning air. Sunrise is warming the mountainside, promising me that you'll be there. Oh, let me run up the mountainside. Something like a first light is bursting inside. Suddenly I know that you can't ever hide from me. You are everywhere, all around me. You are everywhere, all around me. You are everywhere, and everywhere do I see. Oh, who got my breath going right from the start? Who pours the universe into my heart? Who sings the grace into every part of me? Oh, tell me, how can my mind hold the wings of your time unless I spread my arms wide? How will I know your heart is mine unless I feel you so deep